Many people don't know that King James of England, that wrote the King James version of the Bible, also before that wrote a book called Demonology, how to invoke demons. So this is King James Bible by King James, all right? Basically, he did not write it himself with pen, but as King of England, James I of England, or James the First of England, he commissioned 47 authors to translate the Bible and call it King James Version. There were other translations of the Bible at the time, but he wanted his own translation, so he got it. But when he was still a prince in Scotland, okay, he wrote a book called Demonology, okay? And if you see here, it says, written by the high and mighty prince, James, you see, James, by the grace of God, King of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, okay, defender of the faith. This is in London. So as you can see, he was a prince then, so he wrote how to invoke demons, categories of demons, like an entire psychological journey into the study of demons. After that, he now published, when he now became king, he authored the writing of the Bible. Now, I know this might be totally new to some people, but let me show you some things. In the ancient Christians had no name for the devil. There was no mention of the name of the devil in the Bible until King James decided to call the devil Lucifer. So King James version of the Bible was the first time the devil was called Lucifer in the history of humanity. Why? Because he manufactured it. But let's read first. There's a caveat. It appears in the King James version of the Bible in Isaiah, and before that in the Latin Vulgate Bible. Remember, King James version of the Bible was written about 1,000 years ago, but the Latin Vulgate was written about 1,600 years ago. All right, it's one of the earliest Bibles in history. But this Bible was translated from Greek. So in Latin, this phrase called the morning star is also referring to planet Venus in Isaiah, where it says, how have you fallen, O morning star? That morning star is translated to Lucifer, light bearer. In Latin, that is what the word you can use to refer to it. It's just like sky. The word sky, the clouds, in Igbo language is eluigwe, something like that. All right. So, but when King James was translating the Bible, probably from some Latin to English, using some other English sources and all whatnot, he decided to leave out the translation of that word. So the sentence in King James now reads like, so look at Isaiah 14:12. All right, look at other versions. Look at New Living Translation. It says, O shining star, son of the morning, O day star, son of the dawn, O day star. But when it came to King James, they added something. It said, O Lucifer, instead of O day star. This day star is planet Venus. That's the only star you can see with your naked eyes in the daytime. Okay, some parts of the year, if you come out in the morning, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 10, up to 10 a.m., you can see a star in the sky. It's called Venus. They use it to count year in the olden days. All right, the time it falls is, you know, that is the other half of the year. So that's what Isaiah was alluding to here, to that particular planet. It's called planet Venus today, but before, in Latin, they used to call it Lucifer. In Greek, they used to call it Phosphorus. So the Latin Vulgate that translated from Greek would have read whatever in Latin, O, okay, the Greek one would have read O Phosphorus. Latin will now change it to O Lucifer because that's what's in Latin. In English, it should have been changed to O Day Star, but guess what? Somebody continued with the Latin name, therefore making it look like this is the name of the devil. Until tomorrow, Christians just started calling the devil Lucifer. Throughout the Bible, look at a New King James Version, both of them, you see? Both of them. All the other ones are calling it the correct Old Day Star. In case you don't believe, this is the actual Hebrew, okay? You have fallen, you see the Hebrew writing, you see, from heaven, O morning star. Look at the direct English transliteration. Say it's still morning star. So there's no Lucifer here, but King James kind of put Lucifer. That's not the only thing. Have you ever wondered why we as Christians celebrate Easter and we call the death and resurrection of Jesus Easter, but there's no Easter in the Bible. Well, except one Bible. Okay, look at Acts 12 verse 4. All right, says, look at this Bible translation. Whom also having seized, he put in prison, having delivered him to 4 sets of 4 soldiers to guard him, intending to bring him out to the people after the Passover. This one says Passover. When it came to King James Version changed the word Passover to Easter. This is how Easter entered the Bible. Okay? Other Bibles continued with Passover. So Easter only appeared in King James Bible. In fact, initially they changed all the occurrences of the word Passover to Easter. So there were about 12 Easters in their Bible, the King James Bible. But as they published newer ones, they started removing some of the Easters. So this is how Easter celebration started. It was never in the Bible. So who then is this Easter? Excuse me, sir. Who is really this Ishtar? That's the ancient goddess of the Sumerians and the Babylonians. All right. And what about this goddess? The goddess, as you can see, Ishtar, the goddess. This goddess, as goddess of new life or the underworld. So this goddess died and resurrected after 3 days. And the goddess is celebrated on the 4th month of the year called the April. All right. So the name used to be April Easter. So there's actually a place today that is dedicated to this goddess from 3,000 years ago. So it's called the Easter Gate. As you can see, it is in Iraq. So this one is local museum. This is the replica of it in the local museum. But look at the real one. Now this is the real one. Okay, this is the city of Babylon, the remnants. The city of Babylon still exists here today. But as you can see, it's all dilapidated. Okay, it's abandoned. So the very entrance to the city is called the Gate of Ishtar. So they built the gates and dedicated it to the goddess Ishtar. This is what the gates used to look like in the olden days. But all this blue paint has washed off due to 2,000 or 3,000 years of dilapidation. So the Germans copied the idea of Ishtar and their goddess from the Sumerians, the people of the Middle East. And you can see she may be identified with Elster of the Germans or Ishtar. So this goddess, Saxon or German ancestors sacrificed in April. So they did sacrifices to goddess Easter in April, which was therefore by them styled Easter month. And from these arose the word Easter, which the Saxons retained after their conversion to Christianity, so that our Easter day is nothing more than the day of Ishtar, the goddess. The question is, why did we have to use Easter? Why don't we call it Jesus Star? Since Jesus resurrected on Easter, that magically became the same date with the resurrection of this earlier goddess. But why didn't King James call it Jesus Star? You understand? Why are we naming a major Christian celebration after a pagan goddess? Also, King James Version skipped a lot of verses. Look at the verses that are missing, supposedly missing in King James Version that were skipped. Why did they skip all these verses? But also something interesting, they added at least 2 verses. 1 John chapter 5 from verse 7 and 8. They added 7 and 8. And the reason other earlier Bible verses did not have it is because it's not even in the Greek manuscript, the original Greek. So King James, by some magic, added it. Let's see what's in the verse. 1 John chapter 5 from verse 7 and 8. It says, "For there are 3 that bear record in heaven." Wait, if you're not following me yet, please click this plus sign to follow me if you're watching from TikTok. Or click my name, go to my profile and follow me. Read through my other videos or watch through them. Alright? If you want to see my next videos, click the heart icon to like this video. Drop a comment and share so that the algorithm will bring up my next video. So for there are 3 that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these 3 are one. Verse 8, "And there are 3 that bear witness in heaven, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these 3 are one." These 3 agree in one. Some people believe that this verse was maliciously added, that what is in the original manuscript is this number 8. Number 7 was inserted. Back to demonology, you can actually read this. It's now available on the internet in modern English. So if you Google it, you can read the PDF, how to invoke demons.